for University of Ghana. And then for the Hawk newspaper, why is NPP scared of tribunals? Party that sold itself as the champion of the rule of law now leads opposition to tribunals. And there is Afenyo Markins or Sahin in the shot. Radio Gold DJ in land fraud trial. And Ghana Gas pays 24.5 million Ghana cedis for half-built project. Audit exposes 12.2 million Ghana cedis overpayment of an unfinished block. And then GBC swapped 1.2 million airtime for a ghost house. Audit raises questions over missing Katamanso property. And over there we have Professor Amin Al-Hassan, Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. MPP discipline collapses. Defiance, court battles, threats, camp wars. And then on the Economy Times, we have mining sector set for major regulatory overhaul as Cabinet approves new law reforms. Key fiscal and monetary policy decisions due this week. And TOR, Central expansion to meet 70% of Ghana's fuel demand.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay, let's get to the National Enquirer for this morning. NPA boss salutes industry champions. From promise to impact, GMTF already saving lives, administrator tells majority caucus. Also, setting the record straight, Auditor General's report highlights systemic reforms, not 78.6 million Ghana cedi rot at NPA. Tema Oil Refinery receives 1 million barrels of indigenous Jubilee crude. That is good news for us because now we're refining our own crude. 14th John Evans Atta Mills commemorative lecture has two pictures of Professor Frimpong Boateng and Honorable Anna Sewa Tete, and the picture of the late President of the Republic of Ghana, John Evans Atta Mills. And the bold banner headline, 14 years on, Ghana tributes Atta Mills tomorrow, a colossus of integrity, peace, and faith. And then we'll have a newspaper called The Spider, which says, government rolls out $331 million education reset. It includes massive SHS and TVET expansion, CSSPS overhaul, and long-term funding drive. Political earthquake, wound to meet jail term ignites national firestorm. Digital daylight robbery, thousands lose millions as CWPC Ponzi scheme collapses. And vast Ghana demands tougher excise taxes to combat NCDs. And then Julius Debra champions public-private synergy as catalyst for Ghana's economic transformation. The next newspaper is the Daybreak newspaper, which says, Radio Gold DJ caught in 200,000 Ghana cedi land scam. So whom NPP supporters seek fresh dialogue to restore confidence. Minority challenges High Court ruling against Wontumi. It's got the picture of the minority leader, Apenyo marking. And GRA auctions cost state millions. Forfeited rice sold far below market price. Attorney General's reports NPA fights financial loss claim. And that is the Daybreak. The other news items that we have, okay, let's just
absolutely.
check. Yes,
let's do that, then I'll take the us Chronicle. Online, then I'll come to us for
The Chronicle this morning says, Accra to host Pan-African Conference on political reforms. Also on the front page, minority declares Wontumi political prisoner. Why Wontumi was jailed for 20 years is in the newspaper. And Boankra Inland Port dispute. Law lords dismiss ASPL's $33.3 million claim against Justmo Construction. The analyst want to make conviction based on assumptions, not proof. And then Samurai Boy mining case want to be jailed 20 years. Also on the front page, BOG ends gold board pre-financing arrangement. All these and more you can find on the front page of the Analyst. Let's look at the archives. It says, Galamsey swallows first kingpin as Wontumi jailed 20 years. Anti-Galamsey campaigners demand harsher punishment. Also on the front page, over 600 projects ongoing in Volta region under Mahama. That is attributed to the regional minister who revealed this and more. Also, the Daily Searchlight says, Wontumi conviction, a travesty. NPP party questions President Mahama's anti-Galamsey campaign. Also, on the front page, anti-Galamsey coalition questions NIMO's selective enforcement. Wontumi, a political prisoner, NPP declares. Mahama honors late Dagbon Kane's legacy of peace and national unity. And minority slums Wontumi jail term, vows legal battle. Business and Financial Times says, Ghana Stock Exchange rally to continue. Also, DTI fair links 100 to employers, entrepreneurship, and future careers. Supreme Court uploads dismissal of $33.3 million award to Buankra dispute, and the banner headline says, BOG weighs liquidity shift after ending gold board financing. Did you have the daily graphic?
Yes, I've done
the daily graphic. Okay. So I think pretty much that is a daily guide.
Have you done the Bono and Ahafo?
No, I've not done the
Bono and Ahafo Echo. PURC mobile clinic speeds up resolution of customer complaints. That's in the Bono region.
Yeah.
And in the Bono East region, MPP approves 26 aspirants for August 15th regional elections. In Bono East region again, stay away from schools or face jail. Techiman MC warns area boys. And Ahafo region, MPP regional elections, women participation remains low, research director says. And use condoms if you can't change your sexual behavior. Right. Regional Minister for Bono region urges.
That's very sound advice.
Avoid drug abuse, pursue your sporting dreams. Esiedu Busi emphasizes. That's for the Bono and Ahafo Echo.
So I can take us online now.
Yes, you can.
I will start off with 3news.com, and there's some damning story, right, in relation to the work done by the Office of the Special Prosecutor involving the former finance minister. Now, a story here says, no evidence from OSP showing Oforiatta committed any crime. U.S. judge. It's in the matter of the immigration case which was heard, which subsequently granted him an extension or varied his visa status. They looked at the documents, the processes.
Which U.S. judge said this?
The immigration judge, not the
immigration judge.
Yes, the one who sat.
Have we seen the? Have we seen the?
We've in fact seen the ruling.
Order, the ruling.
That is the basis upon which this story has been done. It's been put together by my colleague Joseph Akable. He's put that story together after perusing the judgment of the court. Also here, this is simply a travesty of justice and a dark spot in our criminal justice system. Samir Uku on jailing Wontumi. DRC Ebola death toll hits 930 as WHO warns outbreaks spreading faster than ever. T-bill auction oversubscribed by 72.51%. Full text, why Judge Audrey Kokuvite sentenced Chairman Wontumi to 20 years in prison. MyJoyOnline.com, Wontumi was the kingpin, not the underlings. Martin Pebu is saying this. Ashanti Caucus NPP MPs rally behind Wontumi after conviction. 2 vehicles destroyed in Mahian fire. School bus damaged. This is a Mahian, no. Brussels Airlines flight returns to Accra after mid-air technical fault. Flight cancelled. NPA rejects claims of financial loss in Auditor General's report. And Wontumi was bound to be convicted after prosecution witness testimony. Martin Pebu is saying this. CityNewsroom.com, they also have that Brussels Air story that the flight returned to the country after technical fault. Minimum capital requirements scrapped, but foreign traders must bring 500,000. Restore 20% VAT waiver on locally assembled vehicles. Auto assemblers. Government to introduce coding, AI, and TVET into basic school curriculum. The Fiamekpo tribunals are constitutionally mandated not political tools. And NPP devastated by Wuntumi's 20-year sentence. Bafo Iwa. Ghana Web meets the Ghanaian pastor who's been on the FBI most wanted list since 2016. Well, that should pique your interest so you go and read. I have just parted ways with him. Palgrave confirms Wuntumi's
transfer to
Nsawam prison.
Yeah.
Full text. Read the full court ruling on Wuntumi's 20-year jail. Father of all, please pardon Chairman Wuntumi. Former NPP Vice Chair pleads with Mahama. Sure. 2026 BEC results to be released by July 31.
Yeah.
Those are a bit of the details. And we are taking legal steps. Maurice Ampao hint had moved to challenge, I suspect, Wuntumi's.
Yeah, Wuntumi, yeah, exactly. He says that some perpetrators of injustice against Wuntumi would face consequences.
I'm going to come to the front page.
Yeah.
Today I'm going to have us stay on this for a very long time.
Just excuse me 1 second. There's one very sensitive one on the front page of Ghana where it says NDC branch organizer arrested over claims Bawumia slept with people's wives and committed murder. So he's been picked up for such statements and comments on social media.
Some have asked if it's equalization to justify the others who've been arrested.
Yeah, but I think it's just too rampant. People are just going on and on, insulting.
Yeah, I think it's a bit much. It's a bit much on that score. But the front page of the Daily Graphic is where I'm going to pick that Wuntumi story. And the story again is by Justice Agbenosi and Jocelyn Kafui Nyaji. It reads, the High Court yesterday sentenced Ashanti Regional Chair of the New Patriotic Party, Benadentri Boesiako, also known as Chairman Wuntumi, to a 20-year jail term for assigning mineral rights granted to his company, Akwanta Mining Limited, to two persons, Michael Jedweisi and Henry Okum, without obtaining approval from the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, in a verdict that could truncate his ambitious campaign for the national chairmanship of the NPP. He was also handed another 20-year jail term on the charge of purposely facilitating an unlicensed mining operation on the Samreboy concession in contravention of sections 99(2)(b) of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, as amended by Section 3 of the Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 2019, Act 995. The high-profile case has attracted wide media coverage during the over 12 months trial. It wasn't even up to 12 months, it was less than. It's 9 months, actually. This trial lasted 9 months. The high profile, in addition to the custodial sentence, Chairman Wuntumi was fined 120,000 cedis for each offense. In default of the fine, he will serve an additional 3 years in prison. The sentences are to run concurrently, including the fine. As a result, he will serve 20 years behind bars. Akwanta Mining Limited is to pay a fine of 180,000 cedis on each count for assignment of mining rights without ministerial approval and purposely facilitating an unlicensed mining operation in contravention of sections 99(2)(b) of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703. Now, analysis. Relying on circumstantial evidence, the presiding judge, before drawing her conclusions, resolved issues on the exclusivity of the mineral rights relationship between Chairman Wuntumi, the sole shareholder, and the director of Akwanta Mining, and whether the company had an operating board or executive management separate from the Chairman Wuntumi to determine if he was the true de facto holder of the mineral rights. As regards the issue of facilitation of an unlicensed mining, the court analyzed whether Chairman Wuntumi and Akwanta Mining permitted Okum and EC to conduct mining without a registered license under Act 703, among others. To establish the exclusivity of the mineral licenses, the court analyzed the lease agreement granted to Akwanta Mining, where portions of the lease agreement confirmed same. To resolve the issue of whether the transfer of mineral rights constituted an assignment, the court, among others, relied on the testimony of Okum, second prosecution witness in the case. Chairman Wuntumi had admitted that although he permitted Okum to enter Akwanta Minerals concession, it was meant for land reclamation by planting coconut trees and not for mining. The court held that the arrangement for the land reclamation was not documented and there was no witness to the transaction. As a result, the court relied on the dictate of Dia versus the Republic, a landmark Ghanaian criminal case that established crucial legal precedents regarding circumstantial evidence to make inferences from the available facts. And I must say that I have read the 59-page ruling.
Oh, wow.
Of the court.
You're such a fast reader.
And I will reserve my comments first off.
You comment your reserve.
And then I will come to you guys first. We'll speak to Palgrave Boache Dankwa as well.
Okay, that'll be fantastic.
He is a spokesperson for Chairman Wuntumi's campaign to become national chairman.
Okay.
We'll connect with him as we proceed with this conversation. But let me come to K first on the conviction and what they make of it and what this means even going forward. Also boxing in the NPP's reaction to it as well. And by the way, you can share your thoughts with us. 053 220 0927. 053 220 0927. It's a number through which you can share a WhatsApp message with us this morning as well. But Kay, let me come to you.
Yes. For the conviction, I think, looking at the judgment, it will be very irresponsible and overly unpatriotic to assume that it was not a fair and square trial. If we look at the full history of the issues that brought us here, we're looking at two different issues. We're looking at the Tanonimri Forest Reserve controversy, which triggered Ekufuado's 2023 assurance, if you quite remember.
That and just by way of a chip in, that matter is in court.
Yes.
It's also being prosecuted.
Yes. And then the later Summer Boy concession case as well. And there's also the Exim Bank.
Yeah.
In fact, there are speculated lots, cocoa roads and so on. But particularly with this ruling, it's important to appreciate the judgment for what it is, because the judge did exhaust the evidence before her.
Yeah.
She pursued the interest of Ghana first, constitutionally, and delivered her judgment. I mean, some of us even hoped he will have the full 25 years. But she was merciful enough to grant him 20 years. So to hear the minority speak to these issues, organize a press conference and, refute a judgment passed by a court based on the merits of the case, I find it very, very irresponsible, and it makes me question their advocacy for the rule of law, because this is a party that has, over the years, branded themselves or clothed themselves in the advocacy of the rule of law. So then it becomes very disturbing when the same people who will admit that, in fact, Untumi's indulgence and mining misadventures are undeniable. But my conclusion, before we go into more details, is Akonta today, Asil tomorrow.
Akonta today what?
Asil tomorrow. Yes. Akonta today, Asil tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So today it's Akonta, but tomorrow it must be Asil.
Well, are you referring to Kenoforiata?
I'm not referring to Kenoforiata.
Okay.
I say I buy the bottage, and no one the bob.
To suggest if you are engaged in it now and you are in government.
Okay.
So if
you will be hot tomorrow.
Okay.
If Wontumi Akonta mining, is going through what is going through today, we should remember that there would be an assault tomorrow, or there could be an assault tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are we blind to the fact that illegal mining is still thriving? We have seen. Patrice, haven't you seen?
Oh, I have seen.
Haven't you heard reports?
I have heard. The minister just said yesterday that they had arrested.
I've had first-hand experiences.
Really?
I have seen first-hand.
Wow.
So if I'm told that Galamsey, I mean, nobody in their right sense will say Galamsey does not exist. It still exists. How does it still thrive when we have deployed NIMOS, we've even changed leadership? There's, so our contact today, I still tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I rest my initial comments on the matter. Yeah.
So on this matter of Wontumi, I think that we believe in law and order. And if we believe in law and order, these are things that we just have to allow the law courts to take its process and due process to be precise. So for me, there are key things that I have learned from what transpired yesterday at the law courts, the high courts. The judgment that was read, I listened closely, monitored 3FM and everything that came. And you could see that the judge who sat on the case really devoted and dedicated a lot of time and reasoning, and legal reasoning for that matter, in the passing of the judgment on Wontumi. First and foremost, I would want all of us to understand that we should delineate Chairman Wontumi's chairmanship of the Ashanti Regional MPP-ship from the personality in Tribu Isiako who was engaging in illegal mining. He had his license somewhere in 2022 and went into the mining. But he was charged for giving out or ceding his license to two other people who went to mine in areas that were not designated for mining. And there are areas that are banned. You do not have to mine in the rainforest. You do not. You do not have to mine on water bodies and in the water itself. So for me, all the evidence that was given, shown, provided, offered to everybody in court indicated that justifiably Wontumi was culpable. So, well, he belongs to a political party and they must not be seen as docile. So in this regard, they would want to speak a lot to the fact that there's injustice, there is this, there is that against Wontumi, because he is the Ashanti Regional Chairman of their political party. But as Kay referred to, I would want to ask, what are we doing to this motherland called Ghana? Are we saying that crime has got callous, so that if the political party personality is involved in anything regarding galamsey or illegal mining or anything illegal, we should just allow the person to roll. We should just allow the person to go. It beats my mind.
Right.
So if we would want to be very fair, we believe in the justice system, don't we? So if there's anything anybody has contrary to what the justice system has delivered, go for an appeal.
Right. Let's get onto the phone and speak to Dr.
I'm
Palgrave.
not done yet, but let's go.
No, yes, I'll come back to you. Dr. Palgrave Boachidankwa, who's joined us via the phone. Doc, good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us here on the show. I trust that all is well.
Good morning, Mawuena, and under very difficult circumstances. God is good.
I can appreciate the difficulty of the circumstance and all of that, but you were in court yesterday with Chairman Wontumi as well. Can you tell us, or can you give us an update as to his whereabouts and what has become of him after that ruling yesterday?
Thank you very much, Mawuena, and a very good morning to you and to your listening public. And after yesterday's ruling, Chairman was sent to the police CID headquarters for processing. and at about 2:30 p.m. he was transferred further to Nsawam prison. My indications are that he arrived around 4:30 p.m. Yesterday, and I'm certain that he started serving his sentence.
I know that for the NPP and for you, there's certain level of disappointment. Where does this disappointment stem from? Is it a fact of injustice that you feel? Where exactly does this come from? This gripe that the sentence shouldn't have been handed out in the manner and the nature in which it was?
Well, I mean, Mawuena, you are aware of everything that transpired in court from your court correspondent. People have followed the case. I mean, after judgment, there's really not much to say in the court of public opinion. I'm sure we are going to appeal as a political party. We would have our say in terms of how we view the political victimization as it is, because based on the merit of the case and the facts that were presented, we believe that Chairman is not guilty. But of course, the judge had a different opinion, and so there's really not much I can say to that, whether or not there are injustices or not. Ghana is a rule of law, and so we are law-abiding citizens. We would go for an appeal and hear what the appeal has to say.
At the heart of that sentiment and that concern, as well as what a number of persons in civil society and others have said, that it's almost suggestive by the NPP and the position from the news conference yesterday, amongst others, that we all call for accountability and for the rule of law, but when it affects persons close to us or persons who we are affiliated to in terms of politics, then the narrative becomes different. Is that a fair
I do
accusation?
not think so. I don't think that's a fair assertion. If everyone has followed the case throughout, if you have read the accounts that her ladyship pleaded guilty to and convicted, and if you had seen the evidences that had been placed before the court, and the fact that even the persons that were involved in the illegality, the process of the illegality, never went to Chairman Wontumi but went to them themselves, and they are at large and not being convicted of same. And if you look at the present circumstances as well, in terms of the threats of illegal mining and what has been done to people that are already being known to be actively involved in it, then it calls for these concerns that are coming up. But I do not think that anybody within the New Patriotic Party is shying away from accountability. When you put yourself up for public service, one of the things, the thrust of public governance is public trust and accountability, and I do not think that any of us shy away from that.
Have you had the chance to peruse the ruling of the court in arriving at the decision it arrived at? Because of the many things, they say there's an admission by Chairman himself of the illegal activity which was conducted on his concession, which then became the basis upon which, particularly on the second count, where he agreed to allowing the second prosecution witness to reclaim land without the requisite license to do so. He admits that in the entire trial.
No, and the verdict is already out. We can't do much about it in the court of public conversations. I mean, we'll do an appeal and then we'll see what will come out of it.
In before he left he was whisked away by the police to the CID headquarters and subsequently in Sawam. You were with him. What was his mood like? Was this all coming to him as a surprise that things were going in the manner in which it was going?
Well, I've always known Chairman to be mentally strong. I've known him to be a Christian and believe in the supreme being, which is God. And so he knows that in life you would have your challenges, you would have your pitfalls, and you would survive. And so though this was not the outcome that we both expected as we went to court together. He's mentally strong, he's very fortified, and I know that our good God will be with him.
Means there was a surprise when the judgment was being read, because you didn't expect that to be the case yesterday.
Very much so, very much so. There was a surprise, very much so, from his facial expressions, very much so.
I asked that because it had been announced that 20th was going to be the day that judgment will be delivered. So what was the basis upon which perhaps someone will be asking why he wasn't expecting judgment to have been delivered? Was there an understanding, at least from his counsel, that they've been able to meet the certain requirements which will stay in the hand of the judge?
If you recall, the counsel had asked for a stay on the execution of the judgment for a constitutional interpretation at the Supreme Court, and had also asked for a stay of the pronouncement of the judgment because he himself was out of the jurisdiction, yet to return on Wednesday. And so these two motions were moved, but her ladyship sought that the courts disregarded that.
So it comes back to his bid as well to become national chair of the NPP. Where does all of this leave him as you, the spokesperson of his campaign?
Well, I am certain that the well-being of chairman is most important and paramount at this stage. The campaign team is yet to meet to make a decision on that. We must also remember that we, as a new patriotic party, have our own party constitution. There is also the Political Party Act, and then there's also the 1992 Constitution. And so all of these things must come into reference as it relates to his interest in becoming the national chairman of the party. But it's important for me to state that for me personally, chairman's well-being is what is important to me, and it's my major focus now.
How was he received as well yesterday at Nsawam? Do we know, and what is his present state as we speak?
I didn't go to Nsawam, so I don't know.
All right. I'm
making arrangements to go there this morning. And then I'll be able to give you further feedback. But I have trust in the state institutions. I'm very certain that they would accord him the necessary respect as they accord all other citizens who are incarcerated in prison.
And for you, who has been close to him, who's been with him all throughout as well, how has his family taken all of this, which has unraveled in the last 24 hours?
It's a huge setback for the family, but I'm certain that when we have our closed-door meetings, we would reassure them of the support that the party has for their father, uncle, husband, nephew, niece. So we'll see how it goes. But it's going to be a very difficult time for them, because this is clearly not expected for his wife, his children, Yahweh, his father. It's going to be very difficult, and even for the good people of Ashanti region, it's going to be very difficult. But
for the fact that this is not the only case in which he has to answer. There's the Tanon Nimri Forest Reserve case as well, and allegations of engaging in illegal mining before the Exim Bank case as well. Someone seated behind the sidelines will say that his troubles could be worsened even more in the coming days.
Well, as a practitioner of Jesus Christ and a follower of Christ, I'm not sure that there is nothing that can come that chairman cannot bear. So we would hope and pray is that we follow due processes. And I'm sure that the lawyers will tell you that whatever judgment that comes out of these other cases, it may run concurrently. And so we'll see. It's early days yet. We'll see.
Right then, Mr. Boachidankwa, appreciative that you could make time to speak to us. I'm certain we'll speak again in the course of the week, and hopeful that I'll see you on Friday because we missed you last week. But thank you as always.
Mawuena. You're a good brother and friend. Thank you for doing this for us and
absolutely.
for the country. Thank you.
That's Palgrave Boachidankwa, who joined us via the phone lines as well this morning. He speaks for Chairman Woontumi's campaign in his bid to become national chair of the NPP. And there's a bit more in terms of reactions. The Ashanti Regional Caucus have been reacting. They say that they reaffirm their unwavering support for Chairman Wontumi, describing him as a resilient leader amongst many other things. Patrice, I'll come back to you and then I will proceed to make a few more comments as we're wrapping up on the newspaper review segment.
Excuse me. It would be sad and quite difficult for people who are quite close to him. That is, if he has offsprings, children, it will be difficult for them. If he has friends, it may be difficult for them. If he has some cohorts, it may be difficult for them. I choose the word may and not will, because it is just possible that some of them may have been in the know of the fact that this is what he was engaging in, yet they didn't have the tenacity to speak to him to perhaps stop things that he was engaging in. Like I said, back in the day, you could read from the newspapers and you could see from the television that he runs, Wontumi TV, and the radio stations, that he said so many things that possibly could have implicated him, but none of it was tendered in as evidence, so we may not do that. But what I'm saying is that when someone, a friend of yours, is engaging in something that you know is illegal, the earlier you stopped him, the better. I heard Palgrave talking about he believes in Jesus Christ and is a Christian and so on and so forth. God believes in order. Jesus believes in order. And order comes with a lot of responsibilities in doing the right thing and maintaining it. In the mind of Palgrave, would he conclude that Chairman Wontumi was doing all that he was doing within the mining sector properly? Would he agree to that? He would not, because he's on radio and he is a friend to him. This is a deterrence to all those who are participating in the illegal mining in all the various regions, what we call Galamsey. Because it is so devastating to know the extent to which forests have been destroyed, water bodies have been destroyed and contaminated, and so on and so forth. So for me, they have the right to appeal. No two ways about it. They can appeal. But as you rightly read out to him, there are many more issues that he would be confronted with in case anything goes awry. Two questions. Did Apia Kubi know that this is where the case would lead to? The reason he stepped out? Did Atachia expect that this is how the matter was going to end? The reason he left the country before judgment was given? These are some of the questions we need to ask, because they all know that what the man was doing was wrong. But they kept mute until such time. Now we have a charade. People, including the minority leader in parliament, saying all sorts of things about judgment, which he is so clearly aware of and minded that this was not done out of jest. It was done procedurally, based on legalities. So in this situation, let us again not see Bernard Intribo Isiakun as the chairman of the NPP in Asante region. Let us see him as Bernard Intribo Isiakun, who had a mining license, so to speak, but decided to mine in areas where he was not supposed to legally, and the law has caught up with him, serving as a deterrent to all those who are in it, so-called kingpins. Because if I gave you a car that was not registered or illegally acquired and you were arrested in town, there's vicarious liability to me if you're arrested, that I will be held responsible. So if he gave out his licenses to two other people and they participated in what was illegal, the law has its course. Go and plead for clemency, that the term is reduced from 20 years to some years. Let me again remind people in the NPP that according to their constitution, so long as Wontumi has been incarcerated, put behind bars. He's now at Insawam. Then, of course, his will and wish to become the chairman of the party has to be crashed out because the constitution says so. They will say they are waiting for an appeal, but then, hey, there we go.
Right, we're going to go for sports in...
yes, I know you're going to go for sports. Yes. Oh.
But I'm going to...
I want to find out
to make
I am not in...
a comment in relation to the subject matter.
I know, but
yes.
I am not in that domain.
Yeah.
The political domain, law, legal and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've tried to read the charge sheets and read what was from court and trying to make meaning out of it. And the interpretation I could come out with was, okay, so I have a licensed gun. I registered a gun in my name.
Yes.
The gun is in my house. Then Egbeta, my friend, comes to tell me that these days my area, armed robbers, they disturb. I will get your gun. Then I give my gun to Egbeta.
Yes.
Egbeta goes home with the gun. Then Egbeta goes to rob with the gun. The gun is not licensed in his name. It's licensed in my name.
Absolutely.
Then police catches Egbeta. Egbeta is caught. Then I'm called. Then I go like, I have no idea of that Egbeta is using my gun to do robbery.
Yes.
In that case, should I be absolved?
No, you can't be absolved.
I don't know that.
So,
I give
No.
like that is what I made of the whole.
And it's
You are right.
It's a very,
You are
very
right.
straightforward analogy.
You know, I am not well versed in
but
illegal.
but
it's a straightforward
that is what I
analogy.
try to make me
Very straightforward analogy.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
The analogy in itself is not, it doesn't entirely capture what happens.
Okay.
So here's what the law says, and here's what has happened to Unju.
Right.
Now, per the country's mining laws, when you are given a concession, or when I say when you are given a license to mine in a particular area, you are given a concession, it belongs to you and you only. When you want a third party, another person, to come and mine within that concession which has been given to you, you have to write and get permission from the minister.
Really? So it's not like a role that I can just say I'm transferring to Egbeta.
Just like
it's
a gun,
it's my property. I just give to Patrice.
If a gun
it
is
doesn't
registered
matter.
in your name, unlike a car, you cannot.
Yes, and in fact, the gun analogy even, you cannot as well give your registered gun to license.
It's licensed in my name, but
You
I'm
can't
giving
give
it
to somebody else.
Then use it for robbery and you are caught.
You are caught.
And I say,
it's not even about what they want to use it for. Even if it was an
The
act
fact
of
that you
self-defense.
gave it to that person.
that it's not licensed in his name.
Yes.
You can't.
So I'm so liable.
So, the two charges.
Right.
The first is that he allowed another person come and mine in his concession.
Okay.
And yesterday I was explaining on TV that in Ghana, our mining laws are very funny. There's a very thin line between what is legal and what is not.
Obachema to me once said the difference is papers.
And I mean that to say that
you need license.
when you can have a license, but when you do something small, I won't call it small, when you break the law in that, you become an illegal miner. In fact, you can have license to mine in an area which is close to a water body, but the law says that you must be 100 meters away from a water body. If you stray and that 100 meters becomes 99 meters,
you are gone.
you are an illegal miner, and the law will deal with you. That is how strict. And again, this new mining legislation, the amendment was taken into Parliament by Gloria Kufu, who was then Attorney General under President Akufo-Addo. In fact, the legislation was taken there when the conversation started around Galamsey, and said that the effect of Galamsey is too damning. It affects all of us. Let us make the punishment stricter.